guys, it's Will from Potato Strong here. A few years ago, I was listening to Tony Robbins, who, he's motivational. He looks at, how people are successful. He doesn't like to be really a motivational speaker, to be called that, but I listened to a bunch of his tapes back in the day and trying to get inspired to improve myself. One of the things he talked about was the idea of pain and pleasure at the basic physiological level. So, we're complex humans and people, and we have lots of emotions and intelligence, but at a basic level, a lot of things come down to pain and pleasure. There's, lately Doug Lyle was talking about the pleasure trap and sharks and things like that, looking at, food and sex at a basic level. But Tony Robbins was talking about this a while back, how everything, we're based on avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. Because when you think back to, if you're eating meat and dairy right now, or some of us have gone into plant-based eating, I often think about how and why people change and why they don't change. And, I think about my own life, and at the time, I was, enjoying the food. I've never really tried to say that I didn't enjoy what I was eating, either as a vegetarian with lots of cheese and oil, or before that with meat, steak and chicken wings and burgers and all that stuff. People enjoy that food. And so they don't really want to change. But what happens is, as they get older and they start to get heart disease or they gain weight, some people, they get motivated to change based on physical appearance and potentially heart disease, heart attacks and or future like bypasses or stents or cancer, all these different issues. So they reach a certain pain threshold that becomes greater than the pleasure that they're getting from the food. So the trick is to associate more pain with eating animal products and oil, and if you don't have any health issues, and associating more pleasure with plant-based foods. So there's different ways to do that. What I did recently last year was got rid of all the oil, cheese, all the meat, animal, dairy, and I found new tasty foods that, they weren't new in the sense that there were things I really liked when I was younger, like mashed potatoes, and just found healthy ways to make them. Baked potatoes, baked fries, pizza, tacos. Some people when they start this, they might not like vegetables or salad that much. So, I don't try to push that too much at first. There's lots of great starches. People tend to like, quesadillas and tacos and veggie burgers and fries and stuff like that. The other thing that can be done is like associating pain if you don't really have health issues, looking at the way animals are raised and in the factory farms, the way they're killed, all the abuses that go on, the environmental issues with water usage, clear cutting of forest, deforestation, trying to feed 7 billion plus people in a very inefficient way by feeding corn and soy and other stuff, grains, to animals. And what you get out of that is the meat, which is just a totally inefficient way to do things. If you fed people the grains and all that stuff, the corn and the soy, you'd be able to feed a lot more people. So, you can also educate yourself on cholesterol and saturated fat and what it does to your heart. You could go in, check your cholesterol, check your blood pressure. But sometimes there has to be an incentive to do that. people won't just seek that out for no reason. So if you're trying to make those changes, then that's great. You're actually seeking that out, and I can hopefully help you and others with recipes and just ongoing discussions. But there's people that really aren't seeking that change. They're sort of getting by in their current scenario, state. And all you can do, if those people aren't willing to change, is be the best person you can be an example. So, I'm not going to preach to people too much when I meet them, but I hope that my health results and physical changes will be an example to people. It's always tempting, and if people say things, you want to respond and try to help them out, but there's people I know that even have health issues, like serious issues, diabetes and other things, and they're not even going to make changes. They can take pills and drugs to sort of keep that scenario going without making the changes. So it's kind of depressing, but you make an attempt, you make one or two if you want to educate the people and help them out, but after that, you pretty much have to let it go. So yeah, I like to think everything in pain and pleasure. So if you're struggling with this type of food, it shouldn't be a struggle. If you're eating something and you don't like it, don't eat it. You've got to find foods that you like. If you want to eat, you might not like potatoes or something, but if you do, mashed potatoes and gravy, baked fries, all that stuff, refried beans, all the Mexican food. There's Indian food, there's Chinese food, there's Thailand. There's just so many amazing meals that you can make. But if you don't like certain things, don't eat them. Find things that you like. And those are the foods that you will crave. So, I find myself now, because I went 100%, made the switch, I changed my taste buds and my desires for food, so it's really, now I crave things. But some of the things you might have liked, like ice cream, there's healthy versions, banana ice cream, there's various, desserts, but I don't want to eat too many of those, but there's some tasty alternatives. And like I make potato chips in the microwave, and the baked fries and all those things that you don't want to really give up. So focusing on the things that you can eat, and make sure you like and enjoy them, because it's not going to work if you're just trying to avoid, if you're trying to eat them and not really enjoying them. So yeah, try to associate pain with the things that you don't want to be doing, and pleasure with the things that you do. That's a great way to make those changes. And if you make things automatic, if you get rid of a lot of things and make them automatic, so you don't really have to choose, like you don't open up the fridge and say, should I eat this cake or should I eat this orange, or that type of thing. You don't want to be making those decisions. You want it to be automatic. So when I got rid of everything and I have filled my cabinets and fridge with lots of healthy food, anytime I'm thinking, oh geez, I want to have a snack, what should I eat? Everything that's there is healthy. I don't have to avoid crackers or chips. I mean, some people live with meat eaters or people that eat other junk, and it's a bit trickier that way. Maybe, they can put some of that food in different areas away from you, but those are scenarios that are going to be more challenging. But if you can make things automatic and just a behavioral pattern that you do it without thinking about it. And I mentioned in previous videos where there's different scenarios, family functions and that, where you try to think a bit ahead and come up with some ideas to bring food to these things, and what you can do at restaurants, and looking at the meal plan, the menus ahead of time, and just creating some systems and automatic behaviors that become simple, and you don't really think about them. Well, I hope that helps, guys. I'll let you go and talk to you guys next time.